Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extirpation of undesirable beings, odors from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past has repeated itself?
Watch them and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, Ilbay and Ilary A. Inton Clay, and anyone who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have, as usual, Nick.
Yeah, Erratic Samurai. Remember?
That's right.
Come on, man. It's like I changed it legally. I spent a lot of money to change it legally, and I refuse to be disrespected by being called my white slave name.
Isn't there a term for that in the trans community called dead naming?
Oh, gee, I'm sure there's a name for everything. I'm sure there's a name for falling in love with a metamorphic rock. All right, in the trans. No offense to any of you trans out there. I mean, hey, support all the way. I just sent Tasker a trans flag emoji before this recording, so I fully support whatever's going on in there.
And you didn't even send it in like a demeaning way. It was actually very much appropriate and tasteful.
Yeah, I was just talking about how traps are awesome.
Okay. Hope you're happy. Really quick, because I'm currently falling out of energy. A little special review. This is our new little segment, our temporary segment of Tasker food and beverage review. I got myself some G Fuel. And yes, this is an attempt to pine for sponsors. So, hey, if you use a code Tasker at G Fuel at checkout, you'll get 0% off on your next purchase.
And they'll flag you for spam.
Yeah, they'll actually probably bill you, too, for nothing. When you buy their product, they just send you just like a severed hand or something like that. So never contact us again. But I didn't drink coffee just for this. I have here G Fuel. It's the juice. A flavor inspired by XQC, a Twitch streamer. So you ready? You hear it? You
hear the shake? He has it in his shaker cup that he usually puts pre-workout in. So but this is gamer pre-workout, all right? So this is some nuanced shit here.
And I've never tried this before, so let's see. What do we got? Oh, that tastes like a pixie stick for sure.
Nice.
It's not bad though. It's interesting because it doesn't have any sugar in it, but it tastes like literally like pure sugar.
Hey, science has gone too far, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is not bad though at all. It's supposed to be like fruit punch with like watermelon and citrus. You know what it reminds me of? It tastes like a non-carbonated Cactus Cooler.
Oh shit, I love Cactus Cooler, man.
Yeah, that tastes pretty close to Cactus Cooler. Holy fuck.
Damn, they did it right. And hey, if it makes you a better gamer,
yeah. I'm in. Like, see, normally we just snort pre-workout before we record, but it feels more like catered towards it. So if throughout this episode I start to have symptoms, I'll definitely let you know.
I'll be sure to look at him visually because we can see each other in the camera. So I'll look for rashes that form. I'll be his medical consultant throughout the episode. So if he does start growing hair in weird places like the top of his head, right? Or
shut the fuck up. But I would not protest if that happened.
That's true. But I'll look for rashes, and I'll let the listeners know if you start growing like a third arm or something. But hey, it can't be any worse than the pre-workout that we take already, right?
This is probably better. Well, let's see. Warning: consuming this product can expose you to chemicals including lead, which is known to the state of California to cause birth defects and other reproductive harm. Okay,
not great.
Not a woman though, so it can't harm my baby, as far as I know. Do not exceed recommended dosage. Not intended for use by persons with a medical condition. Consult your physician before using this product. So we're talking about, youthfulness and stuff like that. And because today, of course, you're doing a special. I feel like this is whatever the fountain of youth is. This might be the opposite of it.
It's just, look, man, when I hear lead, that's when I'm like, what is this? Am I buying paint in the 50s? Like, what's going on here?
I know. It's kind of like,
but fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. It's just, okay, I could see. It's one of those, like, okay, just don't be just inhaling this thing like it's soda, or water, actually. Because water actually still, I think, is the number one beverage right now, as it should be. Do not use if you have high blood pressure or heart problems or are contemplating becoming pregnant.
Are you contemplating that, Tasker?
I'm doing the opposite of contemplating pregnancy.
So you're contemplating an abortion? You're already pregnant?
Aborting somebody else's baby. Yeah, becoming an abortion doctor.
Yeah, becoming a back alley abortionist.
I mean, hey, the Midwest, they could use it.
They could. Hey, just start stocking up on coat hangers, homeboy. Make sure you get all different types.
It's fucking terrible. So anyways, let's hop through to some horoscopes to see, kind of get the vibe, get the gist of how this episode's going to go. Do you want to go first today?
Yeah, I could go first today.
Cool.
All right. A new field of interest may require much of your concentration for the next several days. Cancer. You could be studying a new spiritual discipline. Sounds like me. Or perhaps an intellectual problem. Doesn't sound like me. Such as the workings of the universe, or both.
Wow.
Your mind is especially sharp right now, so this is a good time to begin a new course of study. Take occasional breaks to avoid a sore back and eye strain.
That's true, especially with all this work at home shit.
I would say this is, I mean, it hasn't come true. It's saying in the next few days this might happen. I would say fairly accurate to my character, right? I like to look into new things, especially spiritual things.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe I'll learn something new that catches my interest in the next couple days. I mean, I've been, I don't know. I'd say it's pretty accurate to me.
Yeah, legit. Some pretty good feel-good shit, huh?
Yeah, man, and that's cool. Maybe I'll learn something.
Who knows?
Stars are not looking good, though.
Oh, shit.
Sex is a 2 out of 5.
Oh.
So I'm pretty impotent, I suppose, today.
Mm-hmm.
My vibe is a 2 out of 5.
Oh.
Success is a 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
The only saving grace here is my hustle, but that doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? So
nobody gives a shit about hustle, man. That's something you used to brag on Instagram for people who don't care.
Yeah, it's like, look at my hustle, look at my grind. I'm like, fuck that, man. It's because you're working 3 jobs. I don't have time for that. Yeah. That's a hustle.
Why would I be jealous of that?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like you're just poor. Like, it sounds horrible. Like,
which is fine if you look, I have been in multiple parts of my life where I have had to work 2 or 3 jobs.
Oh yeah.
I get it. I get that's the hustle. That's the grind.
Oh yeah. I don't
want it.
Yeah, no, I've done like college and then jobs and then side projects and stuff on the side, all while trying to keep up a practice schedule. Like, hustle is, it's kind of just a part of life. So no, you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. Absolutely. But I don't know why people think it's like, oh, I don't have time for literally anything, and therefore you should be jealous of me. It's using it for clout. I think that's what's annoying about it.
It's hella annoying. So saying hella, I'm sorry.
So NorCal of you.
Hey, guys and gals out there hustling, working 3 jobs, it gets better, okay? It gets a lot better, so just keep grinding.
Oh, well, the dream is when you finally land that one job that just takes care of everything, and you don't have to, like, hop between, because, man, hopping between, like, 4 different things is the worst, and it's just... Sometimes it's just like, how sometimes the drive is almost like more taxing than the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll get you. But so hang in there. I mean, yeah.
All right. So stars for me, not looking good, but I got to say I'm feeling better than they represent. So I don't know. Man. But anyway, how's yours looking today? Are we groovy today?
Let's see. Are you working on something that requires in-depth research, Scorpio? If so, this is the day to dig in. Your mind and eyes are especially sharp right now, and you're likely to catch details that you might miss under normal circumstances. Whatever you're doing, you will probably find it fascinating, like putting together pieces of a puzzle. Take occasional breaks, or you risk eye strain.
That's like the same thing as mine, man. Dude, we're like both on the same level today.
Either that or just the author here is just kind of getting lazy and just more or less writing the same thing for each one.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, man. Well, let's go to the stars and we can get this train wreck rolling. Today's star ratings, it's got a little gritted teeth emoji face, and it says sex is 3 out of 5, hustle is 3 out of 5, vibe is 2 out of 5, and success is 2 out of 5. So kind of a mild below average.
We're both not doing great today.
Yep, that's what the G Fuel's here for.
Hopefully that helps, man. I had 2 cups of coffee and a Red Bull, and my vibe is still, 2 stars.
Damn.
Pretty much at this point. At this point, it's it's not so much of an upper for me as it is a normalizer. So now it's like that's just how I am on Sundays, hungover, trying to get to some kind of normal level where I'm not like stuttering and afraid of the sunlight, you know?
Yeah, I realized my caffeine intake was a bit much when because I finally started working out again, and it's like when we first started taking pre-workout together, like you like when you pound it and then you feel like that like crackhead like itch on your face and shit. Like I don't get that anymore, like at all.
Yeah, it's bad. Now because then good. You have to up your dosage and it's just a never-ending cycle. So but that's caffeine for you, man.
That'll do it. Well, yeah, because especially as a career artist, like really just having a full-time job in general, caffeine intake is just gonna skyrocket.
Yep. Adulthood equals caffeine. That's just kind of the way it goes nowadays, especially with that grind, that 3-job grind. Yeah. Look at my hustle, brother.
Yeah. And if you think about it, back then, you didn't need as much caffeine because the thing that kept you moving was the fear of fucking death at any time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and now I don't fear death. So exactly. I got nothing going for me. In fact, I welcome it.
Yeah. Embrace it with open arms, huh?
I wake up every morning a little disappointed.
Yep. Now that part doesn't get much better. I will tell you that, kids. Speaking of death, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a way to prevent it and like, or better yet, extend the suffering forever?
You know what? That's interesting you bring this up, man, because as I was doing this outline, it started off like a groovy idea. Right. And then as I was learning more about immortality and such, I was like, that kind of sounds like a pain in the ass. But I'll get into some of my own personal thoughts near the end of the episode. And I think what we should do is have a bit of a discussion near the end on where we stand with immortality in general, because I think there's some interesting conversations to have there.
I agree completely. I think the whole dilemma of immortality and versus mortality, I think it's endlessly fascinating, and I feel like it's something that's captured a lot of authors and like creative artists' imaginations for a very long time, and I think it's a really neat concept. And like, yeah, but we'll have to get into that more later. But first, we have to think about how do we get it?
Well, everybody, welcome back. Look, I'm going to start off this episode with a question. Okay, have you ever wanted to be forever young? Right, I want to be forever young, but do you really want to live forever and ever?
Nice. I think we can avoid DMCA with the monotone delivery.
With the William Shatner version that I did. Yeah.
Or somebody's gonna get it and like edit it to like the actual music in the background. And then that's when the cease and desists begin.
Well, I know I have, right? Like I know I've thought about living forever, and it's something that we're going to talk about later. But in today's episode, we will be discussing the Fountain of Youth. And not only that, but we will also be talking about other, perhaps less treacherous ways, I should say, in which you can gain immortality. Okay? Because I know everybody out there's curious about it, man. How the fuck do you get it?
It's a nice concept. Like, I don't know. And I mean, we could get into it later, but it's like a form of immortality was the Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, because things just keep repeating?
Well, yeah, but he remembered it every time. So technically he didn't age. And remember, he used that time to like learn piano and learn how to...
Oh, we're talking about the movie.
Yeah, the movie. What do you think I was talking about?
Like actual Groundhog Day. I thought you were talking about that. I was like, dude, is that really how it works? That's awesome.
Can you imagine if like, what's his name? Puxta whatever, Phil? I don't know how to say it right.
I call him that dumb gopher. What is he? Is he a turkey, a beaver? What is he?
He's a groundhog.
Because it's Groundhog's Day. Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a twist if like groundhogs ended up being like, yeah, nice one. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself.
That wasn't even a bit. I'm fucking so hungover.
You gotta get G Fuel, man. It'll wake you up. I'm
Apparently.
feeling it. You see my face getting a little red?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. That was fucking great. But yeah, wouldn't that be funny if groundhogs ended up being the key to immortality from all this?
I think that would be awesome if we could raise them and utilize them for their abilities. Like, and then everybody, instead of having a dog or a cat, has a groundhog, and then that family becomes immortal. That'd be fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it'd be easy, but also that presents a whole slew of new problems. Because if everybody's immortal, well, then overpopulation is going to fuck us in the face. And that's another thing too. Is immortality does not necessarily mean invulnerability. Invulnerability is not being able to, you get shot and you walk away fine, like Superman. Immortality just means you just never die naturally. You will never die of natural causes. Like,
yeah,
but you can be killed still.
You can. So it's interesting because immortality sounds good, but like you said, a lot of people think that means you're like invincible, but you're not. You could easily trip and fall down the stairs and boom, you just wasted a literal eternity of a lifetime.
Can you fucking imagine? Like, say it's like a genie situation where, no, actually, that would be perfect. That's exactly what would happen. A genie would give you one wish. She's like, I wish to be immortal. Done. But the genie twist is that you fucking die the next day. Yep.
You got to be careful what you ask for, man. See, I've thought about this probably thousands of times. What would I do if I had 3 wishes? And one of them is always, I want to be invincible because that protects me from a lot of stuff.
True.
So invincible, that's it, man. You got to make sure you ask for the right thing. Otherwise you're going to become immortal. Yeah, sure. But then you get hit by a car the next day and you just wasted an eternity. So
yeah. And you have to specify invincible with no weaknesses.
Invincible. Yeah. So no kryptonite, none of that bullshit, right? You can't get all right, guys. But without further delay, put on your best safari outfits, okay? Because we are going to be going through the jungles a little bit today. Buy some plane tickets, make a couple calls to the deep state government, and let's dive right in. So first off, let's start this by asking a simple question. What is the Fountain of Youth, right? There's a lot of pop culture around it. People think they know what the Fountain of Youth is. Well, I'm going to be the first to tell you that you're absolutely fucking wrong, okay? And I was wrong. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Many believe that the Fountain of Youth, like myself, before I researched this episode, is a single sought after fountain of youth in somewhere in the ancient world, right? But just to clarify, let's first say that the Fountain of Youth is an idea. It's a concept. It's a concept of this spring or a body of water that is said to contain life-giving and immortality-granting water that you can drink and then gain those abilities. And the reason I call it a concept is because there are multiple fountains of youth, if you will, throughout the world.
You'd be bullshit if you go through all this trash to find it, and the Fountain of Youth is just like set of instructions. It's just, hey, sleep 8 hours a night and drink water.
Yeah, hey, make sure you 8 hours a night, 8 ounces of water every couple hours, and make sure you run on your treadmill, buddy.
Yeah, that's like one of those the journey is the destination. Isn't the real treasure the friends we made? I fucking want to blow my brains out for wasting a season of some bullshit like that.
Think about how many calories you burnt trying to find it. Now you're even healthier.
Yeah, you did it, man, because by the time you reach this, you're now in shape. Fuck you.
Fuck this. Fuck it.
Just,
yeah.
That would be a fucking okay. Now if there was a show where it was the whole thing where they go through this whole journey, they make it there, and it's some the friends we made along the way fucking ending, and they all just fucking kill themselves.
Look, if I got dysentery, right? If I was in the ancient times and I got dysentery from drinking out of multiple bodies of water to try and find the Fountain of Youth, and I come across a note that says to eat my vegetables, I will shoot myself.
They're all just we lost all of our men. We all we went through so much shit. It's I left my family. I have nothing anymore. And I could have done this at home. And then it's just one last shot of it goes to black. And then it's just one last wide shot of just all the fucking dead bodies as it goes up into the sky and the credits roll.
You know what would be even sadder, dude, is if the shot it pans up above the bodies and then about 10 meters to the left is the actual Fountain of Youth and they were almost there.
God
that would have
damn it.
sucked.
Oh man. I would leave infuriated, but also damn, that was fun.
That'd be brutal, man. Oh shit. Well, so to be upfront and frank with you guys, there are multiple fountains of youth, these springs with these life-giving properties all throughout the world. and they cater to multiple cultures. They're all over the place. So it's not, and the idea is singular, but there's multiple actual fountains, allegedly. So what I believe we should do moving forward in this episode is discuss some of the more prominent wells of life, which they're also known as, throughout history and cultures. That way we can get an idea of where the singular idea of a fountain of youth comes from.
And it would be great if somebody's like listening to this episode like, wait, that sounds like the old well down the street. Oh, fuck, right under my nose.
Oh, I found it. Yeah.
In which case, you're welcome.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man.
Hey, if that happens to you, you better fucking email us. You owe us at least that.
At least that, so we'll fly out and drink from it and get dysentery, but then we'll be better after and immortal.
Exactly. Or maybe that's the trick with the Fountain of Youth, is it actually gives you such severe dysentery that you hallucinate an eternal life, and by the time you wake up, you feel like you've lived 1,000 years.
Dude, I'll take it. I'll take it, man.
And that actually reminds me of I saw it was a post online. You might get a kick out of this, where it's like, imagine like, you've lived your whole life and stuff, and finally you're on your deathbed, surrounded by loved ones. Oh, it's like, time to go. You close your eyes for the last time, and then suddenly you open them. You look around, there's aliens in a circle staring at you, and you look down, you're holding a bong. You look back up, and they're like, so man, how was it?
Whoa, this is the best weed I've ever had.
It fills me with optimism.
that aliens are just stoners looking to try out their new strains on humans.
Yeah. No, that we're an alien. That was just fucking just tripping nutsack.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome, man.
Not a bad. And then you got a whole alien life ahead of you.
I kind of hate my life now. I'm just sad I'm not an alien smoking out of a bong.
You might be, though, just currently hallucinating.
I fucking hope so, man. You better be right. Otherwise, I'm going to hang myself.
Well, fortunately, you have to live your entire life to figure out if I'm right or wrong. So,
damn it. All right. That's fair. All right. So let's first get into the Fountain of Youth story that most of us associate with the topic. So this one is by all means not the earliest, but it is the most prominent. Okay. And this story revolves around the famed explorer Juan Ponce de Leon.
Oh, that's a big name that stuck out in the history books in elementary school.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know his first name was Juan. Usually I hear him referred to as Ponce de Leon.
Yeah, I always thought Ponce was his first name.
Me too. See, I learned so much stuff when I research. And it's like, hey, sometimes, on the alien topics, most of the time I'm on it. But with these types of things, I get to learn something also. And that's kind of nice. Knowledge is the best present.
Fucking history, man.
They call it the present because it's the future.
That's every moment is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Right, yeah.
From Kung Fu Panda, the turtle, Master Oogway.
How do you know that off the top of your head?
Because I watched that
Are you
movie
a savant?
a couple months ago. I watched it with my girlfriend.
Weird.
It's a good movie. It's actually not bad. Jack Black.
Yeah, you're right. Jack Black's fine. I like him. Okay, sorry, that threw me. That Kung Fu Panda shit threw me off. All right, let's do that.
Oh my God, take all the time you need.
So Leon was an explorer, a conquistador, if you will.
Yes.
All right. And he was also the first governor of Puerto Rico because he discovered it and was given the rights to be the first governor of it by the King of Spain. So that's kind of a fun fact there for you.
Good stuff.
Puerto Rico!
And everyone seems to forget that they're technically a part of the United States now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh boy, there's some opinions there.
So Leon obtained a royal charter from Spain to explore the seas and become the ruling person over any new land that he encountered. This charter didn't include. And also I just wanted to point out here that he wasn't sent out to discover any specific area. It was basically Spain saying, hey, we need to get out there and colonize as much as we can. Like, we need to just get out there, stake our claim, terrorize indigenous people, take over the land, right? One of those things.
Yep. Age of exploration, where it's just free grabs because we already had industrial revolution. So we're years ahead of the rest of the world. And also, How fucking crazy must it have been to realize there's a whole other second part of the planet?
Yeah, they're like, hey, let's go to the new world. And meanwhile, in the new world, we already have the indigenous people, the Injuns, right? They're already like hunting buffaloes and making teepees and drinking Steel Reserve and all kinds of shit, right?
I don't think that's a funny image, but I will point out Steel Reserve did not exist in Native American rule of their native lands.
Oh, I thought they invented it way back in the day, and they just started canning it. And never mind.
Well,
my bad, guys.
actually,
I got my details wrong.
Before I make something ignorant, let me see Steel Reserve. I really should just know this because let's see. Steel Reserve is an American lager, which is owned by Miller, manufactured by Coors. So, but was it invented by them?
No, I'm just kidding. I was messing with you.
No, but I'm curious. Like, because what if
by Native Americans?
Yeah, what if it was a Native American company? I'd feel like shit.
Yeah, right, dude.
Let me see. Competitor response, high gravity. No, this is looking about as American as it comes. Yeah, it's just from the fucking Coors company. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, no, and it's hard for me to entrust inventions with the people who still wear like buffalo skins, right? But that's just me.
If you, never mind. They don't wear traditional garb at all times.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It's either buffalo skins or a Canadian tuxedo. That's my bad.
What is a Canadian tuxedo?
It's where you wear all denim everything, dude. So you got jeans, denim shirt, and denim jackets.
Can we go through one episode without getting into racial politics at least?
I mean, I guess, yeah. It's just hard for me because I lean on it because it's like whatever. All right, we'll go forward. We can stop talking about them.
But we did learn that Steel Reserve is actually not a Native American company. We're making progress here.
We are. See, look, we're learning new things every day, becoming a little less ignorant.
Just a little.
Just a little. And that's all I'll give. It's just a little bit. So, important to note, the charter didn't include payment for the journey, which I think for the time was fair because everybody was going out and doing it. Kingdoms didn't have the money to send everybody out fully funded. So it was fairly common to have like a charter to be allowed to go out, but they're like, hey, you can go out and discover all this stuff if you pay for it. So, Leon kind of got fucked because he had to spend he had to pay for the entire journey, which included 3 ships, over 200 men, and all the supplies they needed for over 200 men.
Dude, the 1500 would be a sick time to be rich, where you can just be like, buy a boat and I have fucking let's go on adventures, man.
Hey man, you see that open sea out there, dude? Singing shanties and you got like wenches and dysentery and scurvy. It's fucking awesome, man.
The best. But yeah,
SIDS.
It's the ultimate case of just like rich people who are bored and just wanted to do something adventurous. And sometimes you ended up like Ponce de Leon and discovered something amazing and just are remembered for it forever. Other ones are just a bunch of rich kids who get in way over their head and probably just got fucking sunk 2 days into their journey.
That's probably how most of it went.
Yeah, it's like any big part of history. Like my favorite one to talk about is the Renaissance. Actually, most art in the Renaissance was fucking horrible. Most of it was awful.
Tell me about it.
It's true though. The only reason it's the Renaissance is because we had like 10 or 12 legendary artists that happened, but like everyone else sucked. That's just like, like any movement, any part of history, there's really only a couple phenoms and the rest is just people trying to follow their coattails.
That's just the way it is, man. I mean, like I don't know any Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. That's the splatter artist.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just naming names that I know. I don't know. What did he do? He was the one that looked like he had colorful jism, right? And then he put it all over, and that was art. So you're telling me if you take a paintbrush and you dip it in different colored paints and you throw it onto a wall like a 3-year-old, you can sell that for millions of dollars?
Only if you're the one to do it first.
That's retarded. I'm gonna come up with the dumbest art idea and be the first to do it and get paid millions, just to prove to everybody how dumb a concept that is.
Yeah, someone already did that though. They had their child like just make a bunch of like. Well, of course it ended up because nowadays it doesn't fly as much. Like I think they tried to put him on criminal charges, but technically he just had his kid make some like random spatters, put it on a big fancy canvas and like did a bunch of other like kind of like doctored it up a bit and sold it for like $70,000.
Hey, that inspired me. I'm gonna do hyper realistic paintings of dog shit, and I will be paid millions of dollars to paint dog shit.
If it's compelling and people buy it, like, yeah, absolutely. Half of like, okay, I'll be fair. There is some shit out there that's a 100% a scam. But the thing is like the guy who, the famous artist who just signed a toilet and sold it for $1 million. That was like, it only works once. Like you can't just like, oh, so I could just go sign a toilet. It's like, yeah, you can, but it was already. Anyways, we don't need to talk about this too much. The big lesson here is that not everybody is destined for greatness, and that's okay. You don't have to be a legend to live a good life. And sometimes the pursuit of becoming great can lead to something far more sinister.
Yeah, because this dude just ends up dying.
Yeah. And then that's it. How great can that be,
And he did. Okay, we'll get into it, but he fucked it up. He done fucked it up. All right, we'll get into it.
Okay.
So he had to pay for all this entire trip. So in 1513, it was, like I said, 3 ships, over 200 men, and the journey to a new world was underway. Leon and his men arrived on the east coast of Florida, okay, which he did name, by the way. So he was the one to name it La Florida, which means something about flowers.
Got it.
A little bit of a fruity name for me, but hey, I wasn't around to consult him.
But now it's where most rich Americans go to die. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a heavenly place, right?
Ish.
Yeah, if you think meth and 100% humidity is heavenly.
If you're on bath salts, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, Florida's a shit state,
Fucking
dude.
sucks,
I'm glad that one of us said it because it's just Jesus, dude.
If only he knew.
Okay, so once they hit the east coast of Florida, they began to chart all along the coast down to the Keys, and they even went up along to the other side by the Gulf. So they were charting a lot of territory because back in the day, that's a pain in the ass for uncharted stuff, right? Like now it's like you take a trip on one highway to make that, but back then you had to cut through swamps, especially in the southern parts of Florida. It was just a huge pain. So they charted a lot of territory there.
Yeah, I can only imagine like unsettled America, how fucked that all that natural landscapes would be.
Yeah, horrible, absolutely horrific. So it was a major endeavor, but it was something to be proud of. Okay. Now, officially, like I said, this expedition was strictly intended to just stake Spain's claim in the New World. That was the official charter. But according to legend, Leon and his men were unofficially there to search for a body of water said to give immortality and everlasting life.
And that was a fairly common thing, I think, in the age of exploration, right?
Yeah, people were looking for this left and right.
Yeah,
because there were rumors all over the world for it.
Yeah, new world, new treasure. Like all the shit that is impossible here, it could be possible over there.
Exactly. They thought because it was what they thought was untouched, right? They didn't know Native Americans have already been there,
and that they were just completely dismantling and decimating a whole way of life.
Yeah, so they're like, "Hey, fuck these guys. They're a different color than me. They basically may as well be buffalo, right?" So they just started stomping around and just being assholes, thinking that they would discover this untouched world where newfound glories and the fountain of youth could be found. But they fucked up, man, and it's bad.
And a thought about that I just realized is, I think a big reason why Native Americans, especially, they like, as explorers would say, were savage and backwards, end quote. If you think about it, it's like, well, no, they had everything. They didn't need technology and shit because they had a perfect balance of everything. And as we know in modern day, and I mean, fucking try to tell me I'm wrong, with all this tech and stuff does not necessarily make us a happier people. Though air conditioning is really fucking great. But then you get the Europeans coming in with all their tech and shit. We're fucking miserable. That's why they're going to another fucking world to find a better life, because Europe like sucked. And it's just tech isn't always the best thing, I guess. I'm rambling a little bit. I think G Fuel is getting me a little too focused.
Well, I know where you're coming from though, and I see what you're saying. So people who have tech comparatively come in and think that they're superior, so they start fucking with the natives.
Right.
And then the natives start acting quote unquote barbarically because they're defending their land and stuff and their people. It's the exact same premise of Cannibal Holocaust. It is the exact premise.
You're not wrong.
So I see what you're saying. So yeah, I make fun of it. I make fun of Native Americans. I almost called them, I make fun of them, but I understand. I feel for their plight, and I know on a deeper level, hey man, that sucks,
Yeah.
But get a job, right? So, I can't leave it on a mushy note, right?
You're right. It's not in your character.
No, I'd feel gross if I did that.
Oh God, you could reclaim yourself.
So, Leon and his men, they searched through treacherous landscapes, like I said, muggy swamps, hot ass beaches with 100% humidity, and they drank from every source of water that they came by, and that rivers, ponds, swamps, creeks, the ocean, lakes, everything, puddles probably, but of course they didn't find the Fountain of Youth in Florida. And it gets depressing. Okay, now here's the kicker. So the legend has it that they were looking for a very specific island before they set sail. Or I should be more geographically correct here and say a group of 3 islands. And this group of 3 islands was known as Bimini. So apparently they were searching for Bimini, but they landed on Florida thinking it was Bimini. And on Bimini was this Fountain of Youth, the legendary Fountain of Youth that they'd heard about. But like I said, they landed in Florida, so they fucked it up and they had no clue.
Notice there's a lot of fucking up involving the oceans around Florida, just like when we did the Bermuda Triangle episode, right?
Amen to that, brother. Good job, A+, paying attention. That's what I'm talking about. And here's what makes it even more interesting about this. They just happened to get fucked up in the Bermuda Triangle is because they were pretty close to Bimini. Like they screwed up navigation or something, but they were very, very close because Bimini is the closest. It's in the Bahamas. Okay. It's a group of islands in the Bahamas, but they're the part of the Bahamas that are closest to Florida. So they were so close.
Yeah.
But they done goofed, man.
My wannabe author side of me is like, well, what if maybe the reason the Bermuda Triangle is the Bermuda Triangle and why it sort of rearranges itself like some elaborate labyrinth or something like that? What if there is a Fountain of Youth, but the Bermuda Triangle is cursed as a way to divert people from finding it?
That's a good question. It's something to think about. And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. There were rumors that when the men and Leon were in Florida, Native Americans told them that the Fountain of Youth was in Bimini, which they were like, yeah, we know, that's why we're here. And they're like, dude, this isn't Bimini, bro. And they're like, what? So
their little coconut cups with the little flags in them or umbrellas.
But then that makes you wonder how the Native Americans know about Bimini first off, and how do they know that was where the Fountain of Youth was?
Yeah.
Maybe they put the curse in the Bermuda. Maybe it's a Native American curse, man.
Well, yeah, when they were getting invaded, we got to get this shit out of here and not let these fuckers get it.
Yeah, shit.
I like it. This is turning into a really neat story.
Interesting. It's weird, man. It's so it's very strange, but it's very sad to think that they were so close to the islands that they were trying to reach.
Yeah.
But they were just off course, but we got Florida out of it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a big, heavy official stamp of, I guess.
Yeah, what? Okay, everybody from Florida listening, earmuffs. Okay, now that they're not listening, don't you think that we wouldn't notice as a country if Florida just kind of broke off and drifted over into the Atlantic? I don't know.
I think, no, I think they would notice. It would just be, it wouldn't be a sad occasion.
Yeah, I mean, we'll christen it. We'll throw champagne bottles at it as it flows away.
Comes a national holiday and shit. But also, to be fair and completely honest, I think a lot of people could say the same about California.
Yeah, California.
Yeah, people fucking hate Californians. It's like, because I live here, it's like, it's kind of like la-di-da, but like, I barely like it here myself.
Yeah, now that I don't live there anymore, I hate Californians.
Yeah, see, and it's fun, right?
It's so fun to hate them.
So interesting. Good to know. So yeah, I think if we just lost California and Florida, America might be a better place. I don't know, but that's another fiction novel that we can write down the line.
And to wrap up the story, obviously didn't find the Fountain of Youth. He went to the wrong land. Didn't die though. Surprisingly, throughout this expedition, he just died later on because I think he got I didn't look into it because I don't really care, to be honest with you. This is not a history podcast, and it didn't have to do, but I think I saw something about maybe he got like an infected wound or some dumb old way to die. I don't remember.
Isn't that how I might be fucking this up completely, but like there was like a story that I think it was like Jack Daniel himself like died because he like stubbed his toe on his like safe of money and it got infected and killed him.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I think it ended up not being true, but like it's still kind of, I'm sure it's happened to somebody.
Especially in oldie times when infections were a death sentence.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Forced settlement could be established. Colonists were attacked by the Calusa, an indigenous people who dominated southern Florida, whose principal town was nearby. Ponce de Leon was mortally wounded in the skirmish when historians believe a poisoned arrow with the sap of machineel trees struck his thigh.
Oh, it was poison.
Yeah, died of a poison arrow.
That sucks.
Damn.
That's a dumb way to go.
What a way. That sucks.
That kind of sucks. Like you didn't get to go with some epic battle. Like, it was just like a poison arrow, huh?
Yeah. Well, the battle probably was epic. It's just he just died kind of like in a cheap shot. But
yeah,
he did die in battle, so technically he is in Valhalla with the rest of them.
Woo! He made it, dude. He made it.
And of course, we here at Close Encounters will always endorse the idea of doing your best and damnedest to make it to Valhalla.
That's right. So if you know you're going to die, get in a fight. All right.
Just go out in the as you're like keeling over, walk out in the parking lot, and be like, "Hey, you bitch ass motherfucker! I fucked your mom with my fucking limp dick."
You're like, "What'd you say?"
Good life advice.
Dude, that's great. So yeah, that's what happened to Ponce de Leon. Did not find it, unfortunately, but he's probably the one that we think about the most when we think about the exploration for the Fountain of Youth. And that's just one of them.
Ooh.
But really quick, I did want to touch more on Bimini, right? Because we can't just touch on Bimini and be like, what's that all about?
Right.
So let's talk about that for a minute. To this day, Bimini is seen as the major hub and home of the Fountain of Youth. In fact, people travel there all the time and to visit it and to if they can drink from it. So it's actually like a tourist attraction.
What a fucking 21st century thing.
And so the fountain is said to be in the shallow, clear pools of South Bimini, the South Island, and that is where you can find it. And it's been taken so seriously over there that a well was built in the shallow pools with a little plaque above it stating that this was in fact the location of the Fountain of Youth.
Wow, they really went hard on it. I'm looking it up right now. Bimini Fountain of Youth.
And you can see the little plaque in the picture.
Oh yeah, it's got a little white picket fence. And
Yeah.
Man, that's wow. They really went hard on it. No, that's kind of cool though. They make like a history thing about it. It's like you said, it looks so like side of the road shit though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be rich to go there pretty much, right? Because it's like you're flying to the Bahamas on some like small island, probably have to take like a small charter jet to that island or even a helicopter. So it's not a cheap expense to get to the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, but I bet it did wonders for the economy there.
I bet it does, man. Just another island gentrified by white people.
Ain't that the way though?
But the question is, does the Fountain of Youth at Bimini work? I don't know, and nobody knows. I haven't heard of anybody going to the island as a mortal and then leaving a mortal that I know of. So I don't know if it works. Probably doesn't.
Probably not. I feel like So I mean, there's the whole idea of like, oh, they got immortality and just never brought it up again. But also too, it takes a long time to know if you're actually immortal.
That's a very good. I didn't think about that. That's a very good call.
Yeah, because you're just living your life. And also too, like we said before, immortal doesn't mean invulnerable. So I don't know. Maybe they got fucking shot or okay. If you're immortal, can you still die of like a disease?
I think so, because because a disease would mean that you're not indestructible, right? Because your body is being attacked by something, or cancer, your body's attacking itself.
Yeah,
so
it's an outside thing. You can still die. It's just so I think immortality just means old age can't get you.
Yeah,
and we live in a time of literally like we get like a new fucking pandemic like every year. So and I mean we got COVID, you got AIDS, you got a lot of shit can still
swine
kill you.
flu,
So,
all that bullshit.
Absolutely. So for all we know, these people have been getting immortality, no problem, but they're not dying of old age.
Good call. So maybe one of these fountains of youth actually work.
Yeah, it's just really hard to make it past fucking 100. We're like writing a novel as we go. I fucking love this topic. This is a good choice.
It's an interesting topic, man, and there's a lot of philosophical discussion to be had about immortality.
Yes, I do say so. Say what the fuck was that?
Wow, man! Look at you. What are you, Bill Nye, trying to make big sentences?
It's the G fuel in my veins, dude. I'm like I said, I'm too focused. It's like acid. It's just like parts of my brain that are meant to be like connected and disconnected are like reversed.
And now you're becoming William Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's how he did it, man. G fuel.
All right, so let's talk about another mention of the Fountain of Youth. In fact, this is the first mention of the fountain that we have on record. Okay, so this is the earliest one that I can bring to the table. So in 425 BCE, quite a long time ago, Greek historian Herodotus wrote his history of the Greco-Persian War. Very important time in our human history.
Yep, so important I have no idea what it is.
Excellent. Nice. So in it, he mentions that Persian spies who visited an African people known as the Macrobians, who are, by the way, most likely modern-day Ethiopians. Some say Somalis, but probably most likely Ethiopians. Mm-hmm. So the Persian spies asked the king of these Macrobians how his men were so strong and fit for war. And the king replied by telling him that it was a high-protein diet, which I will live and die by. He essentially told them boiled meat and milk was all they had. And I'm like, hey, that sounds about right to me. Strictly animal products. I've seen it work.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's just an ancient version of just the carnivore diet.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking. And that's true carnivore with the milk, because you can't do carnivore in modern times because there's like 15 grams of sugar in our milk these days. Back then, they probably just laid underneath the cow or the goat and squeezed the udders into their face, right?
Just like how we always wanted to do with the Slurpee machine as kids.
yeah, or with the guy behind 7-Eleven.
Gotta get that $40 somehow, right?
So like I said, that's a very interesting point by the king and very true. Okay. So if you guys want to be strong, boiled meat and milk. However, the Persians also noticed that the Macrobians, the warriors, were not only dummy strong, but they were living to be 120 years or older, which was obviously a curious situation.
Well, also keep in mind back then, what was like the average life expectancy was like 40?
4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 40. Yeah.
Multiply by 10. But yeah, people were not living long back then. So to live to be 80 was considered like sage-like, like amazing. But 120, even nowadays with modern medicine, that is very curious.
It's very curious and it's kind of sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably thought it was like witchcraft or something, but it was not witchcraft. It was at that point when the Persians asked them about it that the king of the Macrobians led the Persians to a, quote, fountain wherein, when they had washed, they found their flesh all glossy and sleek, and a scent came from the spring like that of violets, unquote. This fountain, or spring, was attributed to the Macrobians and their incredibly long lifespans. They would bathe in it regularly and reach upwards of 120 plus years old. So in conclusion, this was basically this was basically now known as the Fountain of Youth Ethiopia edition. Well, that's what I call it.
Yeah, of course. But what if he was just like lying through his teeth? These are like rival or other nations. Like, you don't want to tell them exactly what's going on. That's like how what was it? Was it like a technique during like World War II? Was like American jet planes would like drop like a bunch of like American condoms on them, but they got the extra large ones, but they relabeled them as small, so that way it looked like Native American. I mean, actual. Fuck me.
Damn, bro, you just can't stop yourself from making fun of the Reds, huh?
That was not intended at all. The point is, they wanted the enemy to think that American wieners were actually, even the small ones were giant. So I think this is just.
It reminds me of that South Park episode. Oh, big American man has big penis.
That was a thing they did. You know, it's a strategy. So who knows? Maybe when they were talking to the king, it's like, we don't know who the fuck you are. So like, yeah, we live to be 120. What of it?
True. I mean, it definitely could be that. But I mean, hey, if they're living on a diet of boiled meat and milk, I'll believe anything. All right.
Yeah. Well, they can't deny that they were pretty damn strong. So there's that.
Strong, old people, but they look young. That's the curious thing about these Fountains of Youth is it's not only are you immortal, but you're not like an immortal old person. You're immortally pretty much the age that you drank the water at. So you're like forever young. Like, do you want to be forever young, forever and ever? Right?
Yeah. Now it's going to be stuck in my head after all this. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ugh. That's like something you just like blast and repeat while playing like Maple Story or something. Do you remember that game? Like Maple Story? I played it it's like that Weep game. I only played it for like a month where I would go into like, so there'd be rooms labeled like AZN only. So Asian only. And I would go in and just like be like, hey, what's up? I'm white. And they get really mad and kick me. And I would just like bully them.
Do I look like the type of dude who knows what this is?
Yes.
Because I'm a part Asian?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what a Maple Story is. All right. If you told me Maple Story, I just picture like I picture like a biography about the first person to discover that you can get maple from maple trees. Not
right.
Whatever you said. Not this online wee bullshit.
It was it's a very early 2000s game that continues to be exactly that. Kind of like WoW.
Don't you I don't understand first off why you would compare something like that to World of Warcraft. Okay.
Dude, the graphics are like, I mean, I guess they're okay, but like they never. Well, also too, I was actually discussing this the other day with my girlfriend about why WoW graphics, they never did like a complete overhaul update.
They did.
They did?
They did.
Oh, fooled me.
Well, I mean, it's still cartoony, but it looks a lot better than it did like years ago.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
Let's see. WoW graphics old. Oh, it's definitely better, but like, I guess.
Like, okay, picture a hyper realistic like 4K version of WoW. It doesn't seem it's not as appealing for some reason. Like, first off, my computer can't run that. Okay.
Yeah. True.
And
yeah, I guess
it's like part of it is the cartoony feel. That's part of the appeal of World of Warcraft.
I suppose. It's just surprising hearing this from you, who literally will not play a game like those like old, like classic retro 16-bit looking games.
Because they're 16-bit looking. It's like, yeah, I'm not like I won't be mad about World of Warcraft graphics, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start playing games that look like they came out of 1985. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just funny that they went from like Nintendo 64 to like GameCube level graphics, and that's just where they stay. I just assume it's because there's millions of assets that would have to go through that change, and like, yeah, you could make it all HD, but then nobody would be able to run the game.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So look, the point is Ethiopia edition, Fountain of Youth. It's somewhere in Ethiopia. I'm not going to go find it.
Well, I'm sure you wouldn't want to go find it.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, man. I've got enough problems. All right. I'm depressed. My mullet isn't growing fast enough, and I have a very small bladder. right? But
Right.
then when I go over to Ethiopia, then I have a whole other slew of issues to worry about. AIDS, Ebola AIDS. The list goes on. And also, I heard there's not a lot of food over there, and I'm a hungry boy.
Well, we can spend all day talking about how problematic that statement can possibly be, but I feel like we've been deviating enough.
All right, fine. So let's move away from Ethiopia and and let's talk about, we'll go back to Greece. Let's talk about Alexander the Great, right? The OG, and his experience, well, hopeful experience with the Fountain of Youth.
Oh, that's, yeah, because well, I'll let you talk about it.
Well, it's just according to a legend, right? Our boy Alexander the Great was known to search for the Fountain of Youth at nearly every new land which he conquered. Okay, because if you guys aren't history buffs out there, Alexander the Great was known for having one of the fastest empires in Europe.
Oh yeah, he just swept, and like, wasn't it just like he was just? Was it him who was like a genius tactician or something?
Yeah, he was a fucking animal, and he was young as shit too. He was really young when he did all this stuff. He died at like 25 or something. So,
yeah, young dude,
super young. Man, makes me kind of look like an asshole, huh?
That's okay. He was also a pretty big twink, right?
Oh, I bet, dude.
And yet the guy, because I think he was like a bottom, but like nobody said shit because he fucking like rolled everybody's armies.
He was the best. He was the best at what he did.
Yep, and that's what happens when you're the best. You got to do whatever the fuck you want, even if it's subordinate sounding. Who cares, man? I took over the world.
Yeah, exactly. So these searches for the Fountain of Youth were recorded in the Alexander Romance, which is a biography about the life and triumphs of Alexander the Great, written by an unknown author who is sometimes referred to as Pseudo-Callisthenes. It's a great name. Great name. One of these many places was known as the Land of Darkness, and this area is said to be a place of eternal night. And Alexander had the impression that this was also possibly one of the homes of the Fountain of Youth. So not only was he looking for the Fountain of Youth at this place, but he was also trying to find out if this what did this place called? The Land of Darkness even existed at all. So my initial thought when I read this was Alaska, but that's only like for half what? It's like where Alaska's like dark for like a month. There's like a month in the year, but that's only a month. It's not like it's not a year round, right? So I was like, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
but I'm not a geographer. I don't know, dude.
But it's a good start. It was like the comic, the movie. Is it 30 Days a Night?
Yeah, I think it started out as a graphic novel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then it turned into actually a pretty good movie. The first one's very good. The other ones, don't watch them.
Yeah, ain't that the way though?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first one's pretty creepy, man. I highly recommend.
Noted.
Another story in the Alexander Romance tells a tale of Alexander the Great and his men in a certain part of Africa. Again, the civilization of life, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I said that wrong. The cradle of civilization. There we go.
Good stuff.
The men found a beautiful looking river that had plenty of fish and birds around for them to kill and eat. So after a bit of hunting, they went to the river to skin and clean the animals that they had caught for dinner. But when washing the carcasses, the river seemed to repair and revive the animals. And the birds flew into the sky, and the fish swam away in the river. So Alexander surmised that these waters must have been a runoff of the Garden of Eden.
Aha. Not to be confused with the Garden of Odd.
Yeah. Excellent. That was a good one.
Yep, you got G Fuel jokes all day.
G Fuel jokes. Dad, come get your dad jokes.
Yeah, I just feel like a completely different person.
So he thought it was a runoff of the Garden of Eden, giving these animals and anybody who bathed or drank from it eternal life. Pretty sweet, huh?
Not a bad deal.
And lastly, moving away from Greece a final time, we come to the Fountain of Youth, said to be located in India.
One last bit before we move on. So he never found it, long story short. Well, no, he thinks he found it.
He thinks he found it, but these dudes live, like you said, it's hard to tell if they became immortal because these dudes lived such a rough life, right? They were warriors, they were conquerors, that a lot of them probably died from like battles and stuff.
Yeah, which I gotta just see real quick. How did Alexander the Great die? Because like we keep saying, maybe they did get immortality, but if they got killed. But if he died of old age, then okay, a little sketchy.
So, I think he died in his 20s or 30s, which probably was old age back then.
Mm-hmm. Alexander the Great died, subject of debate. Oh, there's a whole article about it. Was he killed? Oh, no. He either died of alcoholic liver disease, fever, and strychnine poisoning. You found him
strychnine?
Strychnine. I see. Possibly died of typhoid fever. Okay, so disease.
So he maybe he did drink from the fountain of youth, but he just got fucked later in life and didn't have a chance to do it.
Makes sense, but also could be West Nile, could be a lot of different things. So it's up for debate, but yeah, long story short, he got fucked. So to continue our research on whether or not immortality works, so far it seems maybe
inconclusive. Oh, weird, huh?
Very interesting. Very good hypothesis.
And also, if you think about it, man, bro, if somebody does live long enough to realize that they're immortal, nobody else is around them to do a study on it because they're all dying off.
Right.
So you can never fucking do it.
So in a weird way, immortality could very much be around us. And who knows, maybe just because you're immortal doesn't mean your body doesn't keep aging. So it's like, well, no, because it's like you'd be able to like thwart old age and stuff like that, but you might still look old.
No, it's like eternal youth, man.
Oh.
So I guess that is a way. So like if let's say I drink from something and you drink and you don't, right?
Yeah.
I stay looking this way forever, but then in like 60 years you're like old as fuck. Then something's kind of suspicious. So that's a way to point it out.
Well, and also too, maybe because it's so rare to be able to actually like experience the eternal youth, you fucking go into hiding because you're like, dude, they're gonna think I'm a fucking demon or they're gonna experiment on me. Like, I just want to live my life, and maybe that's why we see shit like old paintings of like what's his face, Keanu Reeves and shit like that, or why he looks young, and like maybe he's starting to catch on. Like, oh shit, I'm not aging. I better start, playing the part a bit more,
putting some makeup on to look older instead of younger.
Yeah.
Weird.
Who knows?
Damn, man. Who knows, dude? That's why I love this topic. It's like, you don't know.
Yeah, there's actually a whole lot of like exceptions and reasons why, maybe it's very alive and well, but also too, like we said, they could also just catch a disease or get in a car accident and die, and nobody would be the wiser.
Yeah. Sad. You go all that way to find the fountain of youth and you get hit by a car.
Brutal. Sounds like something that happened to us.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, easily, man.
What a shame.
So, guys, let's move on to our last area of possibly the Fountain of Youth, and we're going to be going to India, okay? The homeland of dysentery.
I don't think that's the case, but sure.
It's got to be, bro.
Whatever.
We don't have any listeners from India. I can say that.
For now.
They don't have internet over there, dog.
They do. Of course they do. That's like, I'm only saying this because it's like kind of true, but that's where like most scam work happens.
I set it up for you and you totally bit, man. You were the racist one this time.
I'm just saying, well, and also too, and to kind of backpedal in my own way, India, it's so fucking hard to make it. And actually a lot of people who end up in scam call centers is because they don't advertise them as scam call centers. They advertise them as just like a regular office job. And most people, it's not until your first day you realize, oh, I'm scamming people. But one of the big problems with overpopulation is that there's not a lot of really good opportunities because, especially with schools, having a 4.0 and being like the top of your class is just like there's a fucking thousands of other kids who are in the same boat. So it's hyper competitive. So if you don't get accepted into college, it's kind of like GG.
Oh, I thought it was because they use the streets as their dumping grounds for their feces. Am I mistaken?
No, it's because if you don't make it, you get fucked for the rest of your life and you're stuck living in places that are poverty stricken enough to where the streets might not be as sanitary.
Yeah. It's called indoor plumbing. You know what I mean?
God. You think they don't know that? You think they wake up every day being like, "Oh man, fuck plumbing." Like, no, it's bad circumstances. You think they're pining for that?
I don't know how their deities work. Maybe they think toilets are the devil. I don't know.
No, I don't think that. Anyways, like I said, racial politics. Let's not.
All right. So anyway, we're in India. Okay. This is based off of another book written by, again, another unknown author, and it was called The Travels of Sir John Mandeville. Okay. So this was the author's travel memoir, whoever the author may be, and the memoir took place from 1357 to 1371, a decent amount of years to keep track of your travels. So one of the stories in the memoir begins with Sir John traveling to a land known as Palombe. Palombe. Thank you. Come again. Which is thought to be in modern day Kollam, India.
And one could say you're not doing the accent to be making fun of them, but you're just trying to pronounce it right.
Yes. Thank you.
Now that you never disappoint.
I'm sorry.
Oh man, I feel like this is you had, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this similar to, remember when we record the Satan episodes, and be it the subject matter or not, I hadn't slept in like 3 days at the time of recording, and it was like 8 a.m. I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'm up, let's record.
And I was up because at that point in my life, I had a job where I got up at like 4 a.m. to get to work. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Is this kind of like your version of that? Like, is that kind of how you're feeling?
Yeah, I'm always kind of feeling like that. So things will slip out, you know, like if I hear if I hear something about India, my brain automatically goes naturally to The Simpsons. And then naturally I go to, thank you, come again, right? And I say dumb shit like that because I'm probably Asperger's or something. So
to quote a man of our own heart, Alex Jones, when he was on
Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, Joe Rogan Experience. I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, so that's my excuse too, right? So that's how I get away with what I say. It's because I'm cute and I'm retarded, right? You can't blame me.
And we salute to you, fellow entertainers out there.
Yeah, so I'll try and hold off on the accent. So this is basically taking place in modern day Kollam, India. And at the foot of one of the mountains in this area, there was a spring well. And the natives of this area said that those who fast and then drank from this well 3 times a day would be cured of all their illnesses. Now, that's pretty cool in itself, but that ain't no fountain of youth, right? Nah. But it was said that those who consistently followed this ritual for an unspecified amount of time, I'm pretty sure they didn't give him the amount of actual days you need to do this because they didn't want to give away their secrets.
Right.
But those who followed this for a certain amount of time would never catch any illnesses in the first place and will always be young. So then that's when the fountain of youth properties kick in.
It's kind of like a Weight Watcher system.
It's like Weight Watchers.
That's still a thing. I don't know why. I just felt like they closed down forever ago.
They're always adapting and scamming new people, you know?
Yeah, I suppose.
You don't need to pay money for that kind of shit to lose weight, guys. I'm telling you guys, don't do it. Don't pay money for frozen food that you think is healthy. For the love of Christ.
You'd be surprised at how much money you can save if you just take matters in your own hands.
Guys, eat meat, eat vegetables. You big, you strong, you less fat. Drink water.
Yep. And it is that simple.
Damn, man. People fall for anything these days.
Yeah, well, it's because we all want quick solutions. I mean, I'll be the first to say sometimes when you walk by the supplement area and you see the shred fat fast and you're like, it's a little tempting. Did you say you tried it at one point? It just like shredded your system?
Dude, I tried hypothermogenics or whatever the fuck those are called. I tried those back in the day. I will admit that it kind of felt like it worked, but I was young. So
Right.
like I wasn't sure. It could have been a placebo because I was working out a lot, like I do anyway, but I was working out a lot. I was
Yeah.
taking a bunch of stuff. I don't know. It might have worked, but honestly, I looked into the ingredients. It's mostly just capsaicin.
Huh.
Which does turn up your thermogenetics. It does, like if you eat a lot of hot sauce with your meat, it helps with weight loss, but it's not like a miracle drug, you know?
Because I do remember too, like remember back in our big old first golden age of working out. One thing we always did after our workouts is we'd go to get some hot wings. So actually, that might have been helping us more than we thought.
Yeah, because it's just protein, it's fat, and it's hot sauce, and that's honestly pretty good. So
not bad. So yeah, see, there you go. Hot wings, man. That's a great workout diet.
That's the fountain of youth.
That's true. Oh, we figured it out. I like this.
So this well in India was named the Well of Youth in English, and so that's kind of where we get that name, that synonym, if you would, for the fountain of youth. They called it the Well of Youth, and the natives believed that it had these restorative properties because it flowed from the waters of paradise, which to them is like heaven.
Okay.
Or was like heaven at the time. I don't know, dude. I'm not Hindu or whatever the fuck. Are they Hindus over there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, I know something about them.
Yeah. Good. Look, you go.
Much like Alexander the Great, believing that the river he found flowed from the Garden of Eden. So there's a bit of a connection here between these different cultures and their fountain of youths, and believing that these waters are just runoffs from whatever they think heaven or whatever a religious or holy place is.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You know, the water from the whole, not just a holy place, but the source of holiness in general.
And that's boom. That's your godliness. You just get all this fucking OP power, dude, and you're just like, no more dysentery. You know, it's awesome,
man. And back then, especially when like we were even more superstitious, like, fuck, man, that would keep me inspired.
I'd search for it. Hell yeah. I mean, we'll get into it when we start talking about our philosophies on this.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for the end.
Though I gotta say, you'll be pretty sick, because I was thinking too, like, you know, my imagination can go off sometimes, and you know, I'm here being like, oh, how cool would it be to get sponsored by G Fuel and get our own flavor someday, which probably won't happen because we're not Twitch streamers, but Fountain of Youth would be a great flavor name.
Fountain of Youth, baby.
That'd be a sick play, because this is I'm trying G Fuel in this episode, so hey, you know what? Pay attention. You guys seem like cool guys. Yeah, you know, maybe we could help you out.
Come on, Fountain of Youth, guys. It rolls off the tongue. We can make it like a paint thinner flavor. You know, since you guys already make your products with lead, it's perfect, right?
What's the thing, the baby blood that gives you restorative powers?
Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome. Yeah, we could also call it adrenochrome.
And that's something that I was going to touch on in this episode. I just want to put this out here. We're not going to touch on that because that is an episode in itself that I have coming up, because that deserves an episode all on its own. So, because that's some deep shit. That's some deep state shit. So
interesting. Yeah, I was about to say, like, oh, are we going to get into that? So no, we need a whole episode for that, huh?
We need a whole ass episode for adrenochromes, man.
Interesting. So depending on how we're feeling, maybe we could do that next episode. But
woo! All right. Now that we have some details on some different fountains of youth said to be out there, I think it's time to get into other means of immortality. Let's begin by talking about, of course, vampirism.
Mm-hmm. A good old classic for our podcast. I think vampires have always held a pretty special spot in our hearts, huh?
We love them. We love vampires. We love all kinds of vampires. Big, small, fat, not fat, whatever.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Twilight vampires?
I don't know. I've actually never. I mean, one would expect me to make a joke about them, and so I actually have never seen the movies or read the books. I just know they sparkle, right?
They do, and that's a problem for me. Look, guys, I think they're pretty cool. Other than that, okay, I know people would expect me to make fun of Twilight as well, which it is kind of, you know, it's kind of an easy target.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like it was the cool thing back in the day was to make fun of Twilight. Like, it's sort of like, you know, like, wow, early 2000s Cole want their fucking easy target back, you know?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I might have made fun of it on our historical vampirism episode.
We probably did. Well, it's because we were children of that era. It's in our blood to make fun of Twilight.
But I will say that the only thing nowadays, thinking more about it, that I don't like is the sparkling. Other than that, I mean, they're super strong, they're super fast, they drink blood. It's a vampire, all right?
Right. Exactly. So how do they do it?
How do they do it? Well, first we must talk about the typical supernatural vampires that we all know and love. Now, we will probably be doing an episode on these types of vampires, probably both types of vampires that we're going to cover right now in the future, because we did our historical vampirism. There's plenty of other types of vampires to cover. So I'm not going to be going into too much detail, but we can't have an immortality episode without talking about vampires.
True.
So we all know that if you want immortality via vampirism, you have to get bit by a vampire and make sure that they don't kill you so that you become one of them. That's just the way it goes.
And a key point is make sure they don't kill you, because I don't think it doesn't bring you back from the dead, does it?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think like you can be dead and then boom. I think what happens is they infect you with something via bite. You kind of die, but you go through like a transition where you kind of die and then you become the undead.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's a form of zombie, but you got to keep basically your entire consciousness. And the only thing is like your thirst for blood. So it's kind of like a zombie with perks.
A zombie with perks, you know, and then some downsides, right? You can't really go in sunlight, which sucks. But being nocturnal is like my dream come true. So it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. Now, there is a difficulty that comes with attempting this, though, right? Supernatural vampires are very hard to find. They exist. I can tell you guys that much. They do exist. Tasker just snickered a little bit, which is rude.
Yeah, maybe.
But you can't just look them up on Google and get their like business contact info and give them a call or an email saying, "Hey, can you squeeze me in on Thursday at 3 for like a biting session?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways to contact them, but that's something that we have to save for the full episode because I'm not going to give it away. I don't give it away on the first day, baby. At least 3 dates.
Wine and dine.
That's right. Come on, you got to buy me dinner at least.
Yeah. Well, and also too, like, because vampires are a little bit more obvious of the immortals because you have a definite, we can say change in lifestyle when you become a vampire.
A pretty badass change in lifestyle, you know? You get to, you know, rock and roll night, party every day in your house, aka sleep, you know?
Mm-hmm. I bet vampires are loving the corona thing, which is interesting because now things are slowly starting to open up. But like, if you think about vampires, who they just get to stay indoors all day. They know exactly where everyone is because everyone's inside. So easy pickings.
Easy ass pickings, man. The only thing is you got to be invited in, right? So how do you get invited in? You got to be friends with a vampire at least, or maybe like they dress up like Amazon. Everybody's ordering Amazon stuff, but they never say come. I never have once said to my Amazon delivery guy, "Hey, why don't you come in?"
Yeah, and it's contactless now. So actually, no, maybe I forgot about that. If they have to be invited in, they're probably all dead.
Oh man, we just killed off vampires.
Yeah, we might have just finished them off with this.
That sucks, man. There's only like 5 left.
Yeah, and that's because they just like, I don't know, lived in like a convent or something, or some kind of like I don't know. Maybe is there a name for like they call them cat houses in that Steinbeck novel that is very famous, and it's very depressing that I can't remember the name of it, with Lenny and George.
Oh, of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men, yeah. I don't know. I guess
like a house. Like, what do you mean? Like a place where vampires hang out?
No, like a place where like prostitutes hang out, where they will let you in, even if it is Corona.
Oh, like a brothel.
Brothel. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You go to a whorehouse, man. They'll let you in, and they'll probably be into the whole biting thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So those are the vampires that probably survived. It's the places that were like, Corona, who gives a fuck? Like, we're desperate.
Hey, dude, that's awesome, man. A bunch of fang bangers, you know.
Fang bang.
In all, I have to be honest. I stole that from a show. Okay, I stole that from True Blood. I can't take credit for that, but that is a good name for people who want to get bitten by vampires.
That's a really funny fang bangers. Good on them. Good on them.
Good show. It got really bad near the end. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Never watch it. Just watch the first season. That's all you need.
Got it.
All right. So, like I said, they exist. Hard to find. there are, like I said, I'm not going to give it away. So we will do I promise, we will do a full episode on traditional supernatural vampires soon. Okay. Because it's something that we've been wanting to do anyway.
Right. Minute.
But there is another type of vampire that we need to talk about. Okay. Something not a lot of people really know exists. Something that people don't think really happens out there. And of course, I'm talking about what we call colloquially as modern vampires.
Ooh, ones that got with the times, huh?
Kind of. So modern vamps, and yeah, I call them vamps, all right, because I'm cool and I'm hip like that, and I have some
On a first name basis with a couple vampires.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. So they can be broken down into two main categories. Okay. Sanguinarians and psychic vampires. Sanguinarians are, as if you know your Latin root words, are literally groups of people, modern humans like you and me, who drink blood, other humans' blood, in order to gain the life force, also known as, right, you can call anything, the ki, the prana, the pranic energy, anything like that, from said blood in order to obtain health, quench their thirst for blood, and to, even some believe, survive.
Interesting. So that's kind of the closest to the classics.
The closest to the classics, but they're walking among us like right now. Like there are people out there that do this from willing donors, right? And it's a very respectful community.
Oh, wait. So you mean like they weren't bit or anything? These are just regular people that just do this shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
and they believe that there is a life force within other humans' blood, and they have willing donors that give them blood, and they drink it, and they feel much better after drinking said blood.
So to phrase it differently, I could just tomorrow say, you know what, I'm going to go sanguinarian and just order blood and start drinking it. And I would count as technically a modern vampire.
Yes.
Wild.
It's a hell of a life to live, man.
Dangerous life to live. I mean, what if you get a tainted blood and now you got blood disease?
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up, because there are places that you can go that have that are actual vampire bars, like underground vampire bars that have willing donors who get tested on a regular basis for blood diseases.
Is this like the protein powder we buy that says illegal substance tested, check and stuff?
Kind of. If you're looking at them like blood bags, yeah. If you're looking at these other humans like they're just like, which they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
So I mean but they believe that the blood in humans give a youthful energy and a life-giving energy to them, or something in the blood that does this, right?
Okay. And these are, and I'm reiterating too, these are just you could be this tomorrow if you decided to, or do it right now. I mean, I wouldn't, but sure.
You could decide to do it, but there are people out there that believe that they need to do it.
I see.
But there's a bit of a debate on that in the community, and not that I'm a part of the community anymore, right? It's not that I do that anymore. All right.
Anymore. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it's a debate.
Right.
But it's very interesting to think that there could be life force in blood that gives us youthful properties.
It's an interesting idea. It's a very interesting idea.
And blood doesn't taste that bad.
Yeah, if you don't mind iron.
Kind of hungry right now, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Sure.
So the other type of vampire for modern vampires are the psychic vampires, or shortened by the cool kids, and you just call them Psy vampires. Psys. Okay,
got it.
So these are real people, again, walking among us, but they don't drink blood to gain these this pranic energy, this life-giving energy from people, but they do get the same benefits and do so from being able to drain other people's life force through auras, emotions, that kind of stuff, non-physical things.
So if you have somebody who's just like a total fucking buzzkill, could that be a psychic vampire who's just absorbing your vibes?
Absolutely.
Got it. So they're not drinking the blood in your veins. They're drinking the blood from your resonating soul.
From your soul, dude. They're sucking your soul dry instead of your veins.
Interesting. Okay, this is so modern vampires it really is truly that. It is, we don't got the fangs, we don't have the cloaks. It's truly a modernized way of how a person or creature can siphon. Essentially, we're using the definition as a vampire as one who siphons life-sustaining energy off of others.
Exactly. And totally separating the supernatural aspect of vampires from it, but they use, because it's such a perfect term, what else would you call them, you know?
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's interesting.
Yeah. And there might be something to it. I don't know, man.
I'll say I don't recommend it.
If you guys decide to, especially if you decide to become sanguinarian vampires, or if you feel that need to become a sanguinarian, please, for the love of God, use get your donor tested, right? Because you're not a real vampire, right? You're not like so you will get a blood disease if you're not smart about it.
It will kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah, so, don't be all Richard Chase about and just start willy-nilly drinking blood. Do your due diligence.
That's a great PSA. I'm glad you care.
I do care. So does the human blood and human emotion and auras contain life-giving pranic energy and not just nutrients, right? That is traveled and carried through our blood. I would venture to say yes. I think that is an interesting idea.
It's an interesting concept. Like I said, I would not recommend testing it. I think just having your regular, like we said, power diet of protein and vegetables, I think that'll be good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sure.
So all in all, if you're going to try it, be smart. All right. There might be something to it. I'm not going to test it out. Tasker's not going to test it out. You do it and let us know. All right.
Yep. And if it's questionably legal, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be super careful and don't involve us in it. All right.
Nope. Because if we're in jail, we can't make more episodes.
Exactly. All right. So like we said, guys, we're going to do episodes on those vampires in the future. So don't you worry. There will be more information coming. But let's get into another method of gaining immortality. And that would be to discover the secrets of the elixir of life, which I'm sure some of you might have heard of.
Yeah. Elixir, it ain't a fountain and it ain't water, I imagine.
It is not. It ain't one of the nuthers. It ain't one or the other.
The elixir of life is probably being made in the Midwest when they were trying to make moonshine out of their toilet, and it just kind of all comes together.
Yeah, they're like, holy shit, would you believe what we just discovered? I'm calling this the elixir of life because, boy, I feel $1,000,000 right now.
This moonshine's one of the best I ever had.
Okay, so now, although the elixir of life sounds singular, again, this is just another concept for many different similar things. Just like the fountain of youth isn't just one fountain or spring, okay? That's important to point out up top. Many cultures and alchemists throughout time have tried to create a potion which would bring immortality and eternal youth to the person lucky enough to drink said potion. The earliest known incarnation of the elixir of life was in Mesopotamia in the Epic of Gilgamesh. It was mentioned in there. And that was the first time we have ever heard of this drink, and not of like a spring, but like an actual drink in a cup that is like, hey, this will give you eternal life.
Right. Epic of Gilgamesh, that was like the first ever like major literary thing, right?
Exactly. So stupid old Mesopotamia, it gets the blue ribbon for a lot of old first mentions.
Got it. Good for them.
And it's probably because aliens helped them, but that's a whole other episode.
Ancient aliens of Mesopotamia. That's a good one.
Yeah, dude. China actually played a major part in the elixir, as many of its ancient leaders feverishly tried to either find it or have it created by their own alchemists. The people in China were so into the idea of this elixir and trying to find out which substances would create it that they would ingest random ass shit to see if any of it had positive effects.
Wow.
So Tasker, tell me, do you think that this ended well for them?
I'm gonna I'm going to venture to say no.
You'd be correct, sir, because unfortunately, most of the effects were negative. And in fact, this happens so often where they would get these poisoned effects from ingesting jade and all kinds of minerals and different plants and stuff that they actually got their own sickness now called Chinese alchemical elixir poisoning.
Wow. So good job. You invented a new way to die.
And this is one of the main contributors to that famous legend, and I'm pretty sure we've brought this up before, that alchemists would die of mercury poisoning. Because they definitely did that in China. And one of the things that they would ingest while trying to create this elixir was mercury.
Yeah, no kidding, it killed them. Like, God. And I know people are like, oh, like, how did we find like modern medicine? Didn't we just have to try a bunch of shit and see what killed us and what didn't? And the answer is, yeah, that was alchemy.
I think alchemy deserves a whole other episode, man, because that's some dumb shit. That's some stuff. That's some like I believe in a lot of weird stuff, but that's some like common sense shit that they messed up.
I think it was like science's like punk rock phase of just like, fuck it, let's try it. Hey, try eating it.
Eat it. We'll get gold. You'll poop out gold.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And thankfully, they are the ones that did it, though, so that we can reap the benefits of not having to.
Exactly. So China was a major contributor for trying to find this elixir of life, but there were other cultures throughout the world that were, of course, trying to find it, including India and Japan. Not a lot of information on those two as far as what they did to create it, but Europe was another major contributor to this elixir. So all throughout Europe, alchemists everywhere tried their damnedest to create the elixir of life. And also all throughout Europe, while these alchemists were trying to create the elixir of life, it's important to note that the elixir is closely tied to the famed philosopher's stone. And in some traditions, they are even one and the same objects.
I always picture the philosopher's stone as like a ruby looking thing that you could just like pop open and just like take a sip out of.
That'd be awesome if that was the case, man.
Not bad. Not bad.
I looked into it a little bit. The philosopher's stone is a mineral said to turn. So like basically one of the major goals, there was two major goals of alchemy. One was to find the elixir of life, and the other was to create gold out of everyday shit.
Right.
The philosopher's stone apparently was a mineral, a legend of a mineral that was used to create everyday minerals and metals into gold. Mercury, iron, all that stuff. So, but the problem is nobody knew what a philosopher's stone is, and nobody knows where to find one. So that's why alchemy doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. The kind of the whole crux of it is that this shit works.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
So that's kind of
fun.
Yeah, it must have been fun to try until you died.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what a cool way to go. Be like, hey, man, I'm a philosopher. I mean, I'm a alchemist. Give me a grant, and I'm gonna try to find the fountain of youth, or I'm gonna try to create the elixir of life. And they'll be like, yeah, sure. They set you up with like a lab and everything, and you just gotta fuck around with shit all day until, like you said, until it literally just kills you.
You're just banging rocks together and like making chants and stuff, eating weird shit. It just sounds all right.
Yeah, not a bad way to go. Like, yeah, you probably won't live long, but like, I mean, if you're into like, putting things together for fun, like, yeah, it sounds like a pretty fun way to live your life.
I kind of want to be an alchemist.
Yeah, well, good luck. It doesn't work anymore. I think that ship sailed long ago.
Damn it. All right, fine. So, guys, now you know that I couldn't do an Immortality episode without, of course, talking about fucking magic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Magic is all around us. Magic could be the key to immortality. And in this section, I will be reading you all spells, which can bring you immortality. But remember, you have to use magic with care because you can easily fuck things up.
Right, because this isn't like Merlin wand waving kind of shit. Like this is when Nick says magic, he means like real world, like you buying your spices and ground up rocks and shit and trying to bend the universe.
Exactly. It's not like he said, it's not Merlin. This is real world stuff. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could easily screw something up for you or a loved one, or, just be really careful. But with that being said, have at
it. Good.
So this first spell is simply called Immortality Spell. And I will be going through it, letting you know exactly how to do it in case you want to duplicate it.
Does this have a rating system like a fucking Food Network recipe?
Yes, it has 3 stars, 3 out of 5 stars.
So this is a 3-star, 3 out of 5 immortality spell.
This charm has been in our family for generations. It has been used on every woman in my family. It is the very first spell we're forced to throw in 13 years old. Wow. I'm either guessing that they are a couple forks short of a full utensil drawer, or they do not speak English natively.
Yeah, one or the other.
Use it with excellent care. You will need the following items for the spell: sage, vermain, which are 2 herbs that you could easily get, 6 candles that have been blessed. You can put whatever blessing you want on them. I give you permission. An altar, a pentagram amulet, and a pentagram drawn. It doesn't specify what it's drawn on. I would just draw it on a piece of paper, guys. Okay.
Right. Nothing fancy.
Casting instructions for immortality spell. Put a candle and 6 pinches of sage and vermain at the middle of the drawn pentagram. Put the spirit candle and the herbs at the top point of the pentagram. Continue this with the remaining candles. Smudge the altar and say, "From the creatures of passion, I purify this space. May my hopes and aspirations rise with this veil of smoke and become one with the universe." Can I just say real quick that they get this incantation perfectly, but they can't grammatically do an intro.
They were too excited to write the incantation.
With each breath I take, may I be permitted by the light of the goddess. So mote it be. Oh, we got one of these Wiccans, huh?
Is that a Wiccan thing?
That's a Wiccan thing. So mote it be.
Weird.
Light the spirit candle and say, "Gracious goddess who walks through the mists of time, my need of you is endless, but tonight I ask just for power. Satisfy my being with your strength and be with me this night, that I could be permitted by your gifts of life. Hold true to this spell I work. Blessed be." Definitely Wiccans. The earth that is light candle, say. Okay, yeah, they fucked that up.
Right. Needed at least one pass of revision before they posted this. That's why it's 3 stars.
They reverted pretty hard, didn't they? Uriel, intune my magic with character. Allow me to judge not the path or individuals before me, but trust in the goddess to light the way. Let me be reminded of this daily. Let my eyes be open to the real meaning of life. As we come from the earth, we'll return to the earth. Let me never forget your true treasures. So mote it be. Okay, don't say it exactly like I'm saying it, because you're gonna fuck it up. All right.
The cadence and stuff, all that matters, right?
It matters, and the fact that they said from the twice in a row matters. You have to make sure your spell is perfect. Okay.
Yeah. From the This is, like you said, because probably somebody thought about that. They tried to do the spell and they did the from the twice and probably fucked it up maybe a little bit, but not bad enough to 1 star. I mean, 3 stars. It was okay. It's
okay, right? Maybe they did it wrong. They did it exactly as they said, and now they have Benjamin Button disease. I don't know.
Yeah. They just live like an extra day longer than they were supposed to. But how the fuck would they know that?
Exactly. Light the air candle and say, "Raphael, fill my soul with knowledge. Allow my powers to grow and my instinct to be endless. I claim my birthright as a witch. Empower me and let me that is wise. Okay,
Uh-oh.
Good. I claim the magic to work in this spell tonight. So mote it be.
Whoa.
Light the water candle and say, "Gabriel, keep my family safe and our love for each other be abundant." Oh, good Lord. Let my route be in joy, surrounded by family and friends. Let our love last throughout the lifetimes ahead. Bless us always, so mote it be. And finally, light your candle, doesn't say which one, and say, I, your name here, have the energy given and honor it. I reach in the blood that's life itself to keep my body a temple and health, ABD light. Let all disease let all disease leave me. Let my chakras glow bright with balance and health. Blessed be. I am, your name here, a priestess of my goddess. This is my bidding, and these are my words. May this spell not reverse or place upon me any curse. So mote it be.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to make anybody immortal.
So it has 3 stars. There's 2 reviews. The review says, this one says, the spell requires 6 candles, yet only 5 of them get lit. Does the candle for fire stay unlit?
Oh my God.
And then the other person just said, love it.
So, and I got to say, one of the, so they got 1 good review and 1 poor review. Wow. That was something.
That's something. That's a spell right there. Now I'm giving you guys ideas, and I'm giving you spells that already exist that you can pull and take and choose from. The best spells to do are your own. Okay, make up your own. Use the things that you find and create your own. That's the fun part about Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have spelling errors all over the fucking place.
And maybe that's what worked for them, and that's why it doesn't work for anybody else.
Exactly. Hey, Tasker, that's a really magical way of thinking you just had. That's awesome, man.
I hate how this, like, isn't there like a thing where people can sometimes have like a natural inclination for it?
Yeah, you're a wizard.
Ugh, I don't like it.
Well, congratulations, man. And too bad, because you are one. So if you need you need tips, let me know, all right?
Yeah, some might call me a waste of talent. Reminds me of art school.
Oh, shit. All right, let's do another spell. This one's super easy. It's pretty badass, and that's why I put it in here. Ingredients. Nighttime. Be life. I don't know what that means. And alone time. Okay, those are your 3 ingredients.
Wow.
Okay.
To be life, huh? I think it might mean to be alive.
Okay, yeah, be alive. So nighttime, be alive, and have alone time. Those are your 3 ingredients.
Not bad.
Description. A guaranteed spell to make you immortal.
I gotta say, this page is just like black and white, like Angel Fire like level.
It looks like a Word doc. Yeah, it looks like a Word doc on Angel Fire. Spell casting. Say one time. Demons and witches, hear me. I want to live forever. I will have powers of a vampire, but will not live off blood. I will be immortal and live forever. This is my will, so mote it be.
Oh, if only it were that easy.
So take from that. It's simple, man.
And it would be really funny is what if that was the key? Like, you know, like we said, it's hard to tell if you got it, if you achieve the power. You're not going to feel any real change in your body composition or anything like that. And we won't know until you're 120. And even then, you could still get Ebola and die.
Exactly. So you guys can laugh at all these guys on the online you want. You can laugh at me. You can laugh at them. But you don't fucking know. You don't fucking know if it worked or not.
Nope. No siree.
Now, guys, this next one I have for you isn't a spell that I can read aloud for you. But if you're interested in paying for magic, there is an Etsy page called Black Star Spell Shop. And it sells an immortality spell that says real, rare, and binding permanent ritual for $10. And yes, it's in stock.
Oh, yeah, it's a PDF file. That is the biggest fucking scam I have ever heard.
But it's kind of a good idea. Kind of ingenious.
Actually, a really smart idea. Oh, shit. We should start. Oh, let's see. 1-star review. This is the easiest of the quote-unquote spells to do. Too bad it's fake. I'm a Reiki master and very in tune with energies and chakras. I can say that without a doubt. Absolutely nothing happened. What could have been great for even a little tingle? 1 star.
What a douchebag. He's almost worse than the person selling spells on Etsy.
Yeah, I know. What's worse, selling fake spells on Etsy or perusing through Etsy to give bad reviews to fake spells?
He purchased the Merkaba spell, 20-point Merkaba chakra binding ritual, and he wasn't happy with it.
Wow. So this is a whole like world that is just shocking to me.
I am 100% going to be doing this.
Yeah, well, and I could bet you a lot of these good reviews, it's just like fucking separate accounts the caster made.
Yeah, I bet you. There's just stars, no actual reviews. Yeah, I bet you.
Yeah, I'm looking through it now and just a lot. Yeah, all the reviews are like, they all look the same. Can't wait till the time comes. Yeah, like no, you don't know. And what a great scam, because you don't know until you're immortal until it's too late. At this point, it's already been 40 years.
Man, this guy's really onto something. I was talking shit, but maybe I should start this up, eh?
That might not be a bad way for us to start selling merch as our own immortality spells. And be like, hey, but you can't return it. You're not allowed to do returns until it's been at least like 50 years.
Yeah, 50 years, 50 to 70 years.
I like it.
So I will read the description because this person's very passionate about this spell, okay? This is a powerful immortality spell that will make you never age again. But in order to perform this spell, one have to have all their chakras permanently open for the elixir, which they spell incorrectly, to permanently and correctly work, because the spell involves merging the arousal energies with the pineal gland and all other chakras and a lot more, which causes lost teeth to grow back in, reverse aging, and white hairs turning black into its original color. Okay, good. The Merkaba spell is the listing will permanently heighten any and all of your supernatural abilities to its highest and fullest potential, because it will make your soul, chakras, and energy fields radiate and vibrate in 20 different directions. Whoa.
Wow. That sounds like a good night.
I'm going to skip this part. Oh, wait. The PDF, when purchased, contains basic instructions on how to do the spell for yourself. I'm High Priest Black Star, and I've been specializing in clairaudience, clairvoyance, aura/energy reading, scrying, chakra healing, witchcraft, astral traveling, aura cleaning, exorcisms, binding spells, curse/hex removals, and psychic intuition for 15 years.
You can make all that up.
The entire universe vibrates to the tune of a certain frequency. That is the first true statement that they have said. Everything is comprised of vibrating molecules that are on tuned into a certain frequency. The world powers are aware of this, and the certain departments of the government have experimented with these frequencies. Sounds we cannot normally hear can affect our thoughts, moods, and emotions, also our psychic and physical selves. Holy crap, dude. Now they're making sense.
Do you see how long this shit is?
This is guys, I'm not reading it, but I'm not reading the whole thing, but this is an essay of a product description just for the immortality spell. It's got to be legit.
So it sounds like the best way. So if we're going to go up and we're going to start selling our own immortality spells, you just got to drop the buzzwords, it sounds like, and then people will be like,
oh, vibrations, huh? Pineal glands, yes.
Sounds great.
$10. What's $10?
So can I read the little part at the end?
Yeah, go for it.
Due to Etsy's policies, I am required to state the law requires that spell and other items fall into the realm of paranormal are to be sold for entertainment purposes only, and that you must be 18 years of age or older to purchase them. I'm not responsible for anything that may or may not happen as a result of my spells or rituals. Our products should not be used as a substitution for medical/legal/financial or any other professional advice. Instead, we encourage you to seek advice from professionals. I am not responsible for your transformation or any paranormal events or happenings. Use at your own risk.
Yikes. Big yikes.
That's a heavy yikes. That's a big hell no if I ever saw it.
I don't accept returns, exchanges, or cancellations. Nice.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
Oh, man. I love it. I love the internet, dude.
What a place. And also, too, there's like 70-ish reviews, and they all say purchase. So they made at least like $700 off this.
Not a bad gig.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Now, this next one and the final one for this section is kind of a blend between this section and our final section coming up, okay? So this is from yahooanswers.com, our best friends, but it involves immortality spells, so it's a bit of a blend here. Now, the question, asked by Emperor Matthias Julius Polymacia is that fourth? The fourth. Wow.
Yes.
What a guy, huh?
What a name.
This was asked in Science and Mathematics.
I already love where this is going.
Oh boy. So the question is there a words only immortality spell that works? And he specified words only. Apparently they're too much of a fucking big deal to buy herbs and shit. So let's see what he has to say. I have tried 2 immortality spells that are quote unquote words only, meaning I don't need candles, stones, herbs, etc. And here are how they go. Live forever without aging. Focus on the age you are right now, with your mind set on living 100 years from now, and chant the following: Planto mihi ago, insquequo, vicis subsisto. Oh, he puts a pronunciation for us here. Planto. Planto mihi ago insquequo vicis subsisto. Warning, if you do this spell, you can't change back.
Bummer, man.
What a bummer, dude. I just did the spell. Fuck, dude.
You know Latin, my favorite language.
Focus on your next birthday and then your last birthday. Focus on the age you want to reach on your last birthday and chant, "Let me live forever." Oh, God.
I also got to point out that it's kind of fucked up. He puts the warning, you can't change back, after the spell and pronunciation.
That's a little bit of a dick move. I think he just wanted to hex us all.
Yeah, I think so.
He says, neither seem to work, but I also read not only that if you intentionally test these spells, meaning like attempting suicide, not that I would, I'm sure, okay, you should though, the magic voids itself.
Jesus.
The magic voids itself, but also the effects are not always evident, which we discussed is true.
Mm-hmm. True.
I would like spells that do work and that I can feel the effects of, but I'm assuming he meant to say must be words only. I want spells, not websites, please. Update. Under breath. Quote, keep the sarcasm low, human. I'm on that site now. Update 2. Seriously, I am on that site. Update 3. Humans. This is not, quote, Harry Potter time, unquote. We are talking of my wish to see the end of the world and to live forever.
Oh, because this guy's like 14, probably, huh?
Yeah, he seems pretty, he seems like a dickhead.
Yeah.
Here's the favorite answer from somebody named Witchy Mel.
Yeah, 5-star.
5-star, from a decade ago. Okay, good.
Awesome.
Do you think that if it was easy, everyone would still be dying? If this really worked, it wouldn't be available to you. It would probably only be available to celebrities and the very rich. And what is with the quote humans unquote thing? Are you not human yourself? Technically, whenever you cast a spell with skepticism, it doesn't work. True. Witchy Mel seems to know what she's talking about so far. Spellcasting is all about the intent of the caster, dude. That's what she said, bro. That's what I've been saying, bro.
Wow, we're actually seeing something wisdomy.
Yeah. You have to be 100% confident and committed to the outcome. If you are using a spell someone else wrote and you are looking to drown down your nose at them while casting it, thinking that most likely won't work, you have already failed. Damn, bro, she is just shooting out the wisdom.
Ripping right into him.
If it would be really hard to judge a quote live forever unquote spell because you won't know it didn't work until the day you die. Exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah.
It's impossible to know if it's successful immediately. There is a spell that can make the time go by faster. I have used it and it works. I don't have access to it online because my job blocks the site, but here you go.
These fucking people at work while replying to a fucking Yahoo answer about magic.
And then Witchy Mel types in modernwiccan.com. And then says, and look at the spells and rituals section, you will find it. All you need is a pen and paper and a chant. I think you are too far gone for this next comment to mean anything to you, but I'll say it anyways. Magic is not a game. Damn.
Wow. Really dropped some knowledge on him, huh?
That was a really good post. She got like 2 thumbs up, but she got 3 thumbs down from a bunch of idiots.
People who also wanted the quick shortcut, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, magic is a long con, guys. Come on. Man, Witchy Mel, dude. She did a good job.
What do you know? Oh, and I have to point out, I forgot about this, but there's the little notification at the top. Yahoo Answers is shutting down on May 4th, 2021 Eastern Time. And beginning April 20th, 2021, Yahoo Answers will be in read-only mode. Okay, so it's all still going to be up, but no one can post on here anymore.
Okay, well, at least we'll still have the archives.
Yeah,
because these are our best friends, man.
Yeah, and like we were talking about before, it's like, you know, it's all the good shit was like from like 8+ years ago. So I ain't tripping about losing a modern Yahoo Answers.
Exactly. I'm right there with you, man. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that transitions us into the next section. Now, this is usually the part of this type of episode where I would dive into the sticky, neckbeard-ridden depths of Yahoo Answers to get some internet insight on immortality.
Right.
I will do so, okay, because it is my duty to scour the internet for stuff relating to our topics. However, as we discuss these Yahoo Answers, keep in mind that there are a lot of killjoys on the internet that apparently think immortality is a bad idea, and then they're just a bunch of dickheads.
Right. Something like that, huh?
Exactly. All right, so let's take a look at the first Yahoo Answers that we have. So this is from Anonymous. Asked in entertainment and music. Polls and surveys. Oh, okay. I guess that makes a little more sense. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose.
So the question is simple. If someone offered you immortality, would you take it? Why or why not? Then, this is what I'm starting to talk about with people getting all pretentious and kind of dickheadish about this, okay? So listen to this answer. The top answer. Actually, Tasker, I want you to read it. I feel like I've been doing a lot of reading today, and I want you to read this.
Got it. And yeah, and during all this, we can even work in our own philosophies on it, because we are also probably around the 2-hour mark, and we're both hungry.
Yes. So you know what? I like it. Let's weave it in where we can, and we'll cut down on the debate later.
Right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. This is from Music Lover, because if you remember, this is a thread in the music forum section. Yahoo Answers. Okay. On the surface, immortality sounds cool. You have infinite time to do all the things you want and see all the places you want to go as many times as you like. But you should consider all the factors, since this is life and not a cartoon. Death is the natural part life's cycle.
Nice.
You'd lose all your friends and family, but can make new friends. Would you age just more slowly? Or do you pick when it starts? You'd have to endure all of the societal problems, wars, taxes, pollution, etc. that happen and will continue to happen. Immortality doesn't mean you'd be free from sickness and disease. No, if you were terminally ill or crippled, then you'd be that way forever. That would suck. And you'd have to work forever to continue to have money to live. Immortality doesn't mean infinitely rich or perfect health forever. It just means you'd live forever, but not what condition you'd live in. There are a lot of cool things about immortality, and you'd be able to see advancements in science, healthcare, have different jobs, do more to help others, etc. But you have to be able to accept all of the everyday things in life too, like work, health, taxes, population, explosions, costs of everything going up, etc. Unless I could ask for other stipulations, I don't think I'd want immortality, but it'd be fun to have an extra 50 years added.
What a tool, huh?
What a douchebag. And how many times do you have to say etc. before it's like, I get it?
This guy, who the hell does he think he is, breaking down such a cool question into like rational thinking? You know what I mean? Like it's dumb. Like you either take it or you don't, man.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's Killjoy. He should be more like what is this one? Named Candle, who just replied, "Yes, somebody has offered me immortality, and I have accepted the offer."
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it. So then, to weave us in, what's your take? Would you take it?
Yeah, I would 100% take it because there's no downside, right? Because, because you still could die from a disease, you still could get hit by a car. That could happen as a non-immortal person anyway. So, if I don't get a disease or if I don't get hit by a car, then I'm immortal. There's no. I feel like there's no loss.
Yeah, and with similar logic, I agree. I would take it as long as because that's the thing though. Is okay if it was like a genie type situation. I probably wouldn't because, like you said, the genie wish is cool. You get immortality, you're immortal, but then you get shot and killed the next day, or you get cancer and then you die in, the next 2 years. Like if it was a sketchy means, I'd probably say no. But if I felt relatively confident, I'd say yes.
Yeah. I mean, what if it was from like the Fountain of Youth where there's no stipulations and there's no strings attached? Then yeah, I would drink from it and just 100%. Hell yeah, it'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even think twice. I'd be like, no, fuck yeah, give it. I'll take seconds.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man. Imagine
so down.
Like if we were lucky enough to drink it, not get a disease, not get killed some other way, we would be able to see the end of the earth, dude.
That'd be kind of cool. And I mean, I imagine the end of the earth, it's a quick death for most involved. So yeah, it'd be cool to be there. And like I said, it's the whole, okay, if we were immortal and invulnerable, okay, that's kind of like, because the thing is you just keep living. And I feel like that, although I feel like I would not mind that, I would probably still take it, but that's rough because then the earth ends and you're just floating in space.
That's a good point. Until where do you go from there? Then that's a hell. That's a hell right there.
Yeah. There's no escape from either.
Ugh, I didn't think about that. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's why I'd be okay with immortal, but I would like to be able to die at some point.
So interesting. I think we're on the same page for this.
This is shocking. It's kind of like, I don't really know where to go with it. This never happens.
Yeah, it makes me feel weird. I feel mushy inside.
Yeah, it's like we're like getting along or something.
I feel like I should call you a name or something. I'm going to hold back from doing that though.
All right, yeah. Let it fester a little bit before so we can get a good like AAA S-class one.
Okay. All right, guys, let's go to this was not going to be the last one, but we are running out of time, so this is going to be the last Yahoo Answers for the episode. Asked in what I would say is probably the most appropriate board that they could have chosen. Finally, the philosophy board.
Good. Okay.
The question by Saqib Fazal. Ugh, don't let him into an airport. What would be the disadvantages of immortality? Good question.
I'm looking through it now. This will be something.
Okay. Great question. I often ruminate on it given my innate fear of death, and therefore natural inclination to want to obtain more immortality. I'm not big on the idea that post-death we are an infinite void of cognition, or as William Cullen Bryant referred to it in his wicked poem, Thanatopsis, to be a bother of the incessible rock, to mix forever with the elements. So I asked myself, if I could be immortal, would I want to be? The answer returns from my mental faculties, convoluted, and it finds itself contingent on qualifiers.
Fucking punch this guy so hard. Oh my God.
What I mean by that is, it depends. It depends on a great deal, actually. But here are some examples. The way you word the question does not necessarily connect the concept of immortality to a human. You could be referring to immortality for time, or to space. But assuming you mean disadvantages of immortality for humans, it comes down to quality of life. What an asshole, dude. He's calling him out for not specifying immortality for humans?
On Yahoo Answers.
Oh, geez. Immortality presupposes illimitable foreverness. With immortality would have to come magical powers or something. But then he's saying all this, and then he says apostrophe CUZ for cuz. Cuz when it gets right down to it, here are some things you need to consider before drinking from the fountain of youth. 1. The Earth is a temporary housing facility. When our sun goes, if we haven't blown our own planet up with nuclear bombs or sucked ourselves into black holes with our large hadron colliders, the Earth won't be the stomping grounds for you if you are immortal. I'm not going to read the whole thing. That's his first point.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The second one. Also, you have to consider the fact that entropy governs the universe in such a way that all ordered systems are invariably and inevitably directed into chaos and destruction. In this case, consider just the breaking down of the elements. All matter undergoes changes, be it physical or chemical, or what have you, and your body will break down and to become part of the rest of the universe's energy.
Oh,
and of course, at the end of that one, he mentions Descartes. What a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, he sounds like a first semester philosophy student who probably dropped out shortly after.
Yes. Yep. Third point. Everyone else will eventually die. You will be alone. Sure, we're a crafty species and we're stubborn and intent on mass proliferating into the farthest distances we can surmise. But no matter how adaptable we are to the changing universe, no matter how good we are at finding space station locations, bending time to relive old lives, popping into other dimensions to find habitable plateaus of existence, eventually we will all die. His second to last point is, so there you will be, a thought being in a dark, cold, infinite, lifeless, and fairly maddening environment forever and ever. He puts ellipses in there.
Yeah, and this isn't even an extra point. This just feels like an addition to the point before.
Yeah. Okay, we'll skip that one. That's dumb. Finally, you would never find out. You would never get to know what the rest of us will. Is there a God? Is the big guy out there? Is there an afterlife or not? If not, you would presumably not know there is not. What? And would be no better or worse off than you would be if you suffer the aforementioned pangs of immortality. Fuck this guy, man.
Yeah, I would literally just for in 10 minutes just drop every my moral philosophy of how I stand with treating other people just so I could bully and beat the fucking shit out of this guy.
Yeah. And then he closes like this. Though I am a bit nervous about the afterlife, and though I have with infinite degree the life that each of us, all organisms included, have been given before immortality, ... give me death. Keep posting. Oh, and read the poem.
Wow. This whole thing is so pretentious. It's just like, oh, look how well I go, blah, blah, blah. Descartes and all that bullshit. Like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty classic, man. He's probably, I was like, hey, man, yeah, that's great and all, but can you just put $5 on pump 5, man? I'm trying to get fucking on the road, all right? All right, guys, but we're running out of time. That was it for the Fountain of Youth and Immortality.
Yeah, that's, you could tell by the length of this episode, if you made it this far, that this was a very fun, in-depth topic.
It was fun. It's always fun to think about because it's there's different ways to do it. How far are you willing to go? Are you going to go start drinking human blood? Let us know.
Yeah, or if you have any sort of you bought that $10 scam spell and tell us how it made you feel. Tell us if you feel any, because obviously with immortality, you won't know till a lot later if it works or not. But I don't know. If you got some updates for us, let us know.
Yeah, let me know if your body feels tingly and you feel like you could take on the world.
Right, absolutely. And of course, we got to add one small section here about, obviously, Count Chocula has been immortal for years, but there's plenty of debate about that, about what is he really? Like, is he really a living like human, or is he some sort of, because cryptids don't really follow the same rules that we live by.
Right. I would categorize him as a vampire.
Yeah.
Albeit a chocolate one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vampire nonetheless.
But a vampire. So that's why he's been around since the dawn of time, doing the things that he's been doing, and he is immortal. That's something that we've come to discover way before even doing this episode. He is obviously an immortal being.
So can we kind of surmise that he probably came from South America, where the cacao beans are?
Yeah. Maybe that's why I don't understand his letters, because they're all in fucking Portuguese.
Yeah.
Maybe he's from Brazil or something.
Portuguese?
Yeah, they speak Portuguese in Brazil, man.
Okay. I was gonna say I think Portugal's but you're right. They can speak because the fucking age of exploration. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's history, dog. But yeah, that's why all his letters are in Portuguese. I'm like sitting here like, what the fuck is this? The only thing I recognize is Count Chocula, and that's just on the dress.
It's his native tongue. And you know what? Maybe with that, we might have just gotten one step closer to finding the root of all this, where maybe we can yoink it out.
Yeah, so let's build that wall. I think that's probably our best bet to keep Count Chocula away from us.
Still going on the wall thing, huh?
I mean, now I'm not worried about Mexico anymore. I'm just worried about what's below Mexico, right? If Count Chocula is Brazilian, do I really want him up here?
Yeah. Well, they did build Trump's wall. It just sucks, and it's not even. It doesn't cover the entire border.
Well, he fucked up. He done goofed, man.
Oh man. Well, this is a very long episode, so thank you all for sticking through it. We had a lot of fun going for it. Like we said, eventually we'll have a future episode about endochromes. What are those things? Adrenochromes.
So we're sorry we didn't touch on it on this, but that deserves a whole ass episode, because that's an episode that might get taken down by YouTube because it's so truth, like it's the truth and it's deep.
Yeah. Yep, and it's risky business, but we are all about that here. We're going out of our way for you. But thank you all for listening. Of course, iTunes, rate and review. If you hit us with a 5-star, up our visibility, leave a review, tell us what you think. Spotify, you can click that follow button. We do have new episodes every single Wednesday. Instagram is @CEOTPK. YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Find all of our episodes except for Bill and Hillary Clinton Part 1. Twitter is @CEOTPK1. Facebook is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. You can email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. Please join the Discord. It is discord.gg/6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. We have emotes. We have a bunch of great people there. All very fun. We got meme sections. We got a horror section, and you could post your alien sightings, or if you're taking the MUFON exam or whatever the fuck. It's a great community, and we'd love to have you there. Coffee is ko-fi.com/CEOTPK. Feel the need to throw a couple of dollars our way. That's the best way to do it. We appreciate it no matter what way, but we also just appreciate more that you're listening to our episodes.
A listen from you is a gift in itself. Don't feel the need to give us your money.
That jingle, you'll be hearing it at the 3 a.m. infomercials because it's the only one we could afford.
That's why I had to voice it. It sucked.
Beautiful. A beautiful future we have coming for us.
Yeah, guys. So thanks for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate it. We got some feedback, a little bit of feedback on the question we asked last episode. Would you guys be interested in some kind of horror podcast? And it has been a positive reaction. So eventually, I don't know when, but eventually something will come out. Let us know in the Discord specific movies, series of movies that you guys would like to hear about. I mean, I've watched a lot of stuff, but I'm sure there's shit out there I haven't. Whatever. Send it our way. Let us know.
Yep. Keep us updated. We're here to listen.
All right, guys. Well, look, whether you think that immortality can be gained through eating mercury, or if you have to travel to some random island in the Bahamas, the truth is out there.
Well, we don't really know because we'll see in 90 years, but for now, it's not. The mistakenly. Damn it. Look, G Fuel overdosed.
It's the lead.
It's the lead poisoning. It's getting me.